All right, so our third question. So I'm young, I'm healthy. I really don't care if I get sick. Why should I get the vaccine anyway?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So, and that's a lot of people think about is like, these people who are getting sick with COVID, they're they're older, they have other health issues. I'm fine, I'm okay. But we know that the COVID vaccine is amazingly effective at preventing illness. It's been designed to prevent hospitalizations, to prevent people being admitted to an intensive care unit to the point where someone actually has to put a tube down their throat. And it also prevents death. That's what they're originally designed for. And they actually are really good at preventing mild illness as well. So, but the one thing about this virus, which makes it extremely challenging, is that it's a lot like the flu. It's easily spread. However, people can spread it with not actually showing any signs or symptoms, or they have very mild signs and symptoms. So anywhere as low as 10% of people, as high as 50% of people don't have symptoms at all. And so they're around interacting through their everyday lives. And so they can easily pass it on to others. So like any vaccine, our goal is to protect the individual. We want that person to be not to get sick. We also want to protect people around you as well. So particularly your family. It's really important right now if someone has young kids, because right now the vaccines have not been approved yet. They're still studying the effectiveness of the vaccine in kids 12 and under. And we know kids are prone to getting it. We know kids can end up in hospital, and we know some kids actually die from it as well. So it's important to vaccinate those people around kids to make sure that they don't pass it on to others. The other thing is we also have to protect our community as well. So what we have seen, and this happens with the flu as well, some people will get the virus, they'll go to a workplace or go to a friend's house, and they can spread it to others. And those other people could be someone who's immune compromised. So they're on medications that depress their immune system so they can't fight off viruses, or they have certain medical conditions that prevent them from fighting off infections. So we've seen a lot of situations where we have young people working in a variety of settings, whether it's in correctional facilities or long-term care facilities, group homes. There are people there who are vulnerable to the virus because of their age or other health issues. And if you're going to place your working place these people and you have the virus, we want to make sure that you're not passing it to anyone else. So the biggest benefit is to the whole entire community. So if we can get more people vaccinated, the better chance we can drive our numbers down and also start reopening up our society at the same time.
Well said. So getting vaccinated, it's not only just about protecting yourself, it's about protecting those around you as well, making sure that they don't get the virus from you.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And I would just add that I know even for myself during what we called first wave, I wasn't overly concerned for myself because I feel like I'm still young enough that I would be able to fight off. I have a good immune system. But what really started to trigger thoughts for me about fearing even for myself, although I was following all protocols all the way through, of course, is the variants has created a whole other way of looking at this virus, because it's not just attacking the older generation or those with immune compromised conditions. We're seeing younger people and getting very sick from these variants. So that's another piece that we have to really consider. It has changed over the year. Honestly, what we were dealing with at the beginning is actually a little different now, and we have to look at it that way. And again, going back to protecting ourselves, but the community as well.
Yeah, I'll just follow up on that. I think that's a great point. Like in wave one, the majority of people who got sick were much older, in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And you've heard of probably through the media, there was lots of outbreaks in long-term care facilities. Yeah. As we move through our second and third waves, as we start getting vaccines into people's arms, we particularly focus on those people who live in long-term care settings to get them vaccinated. And what we've noticed now with our recent third wave, with more and more people getting shots in arms, we're seeing the disease show up in those populations who don't have shots in arms. So particularly this third wave, we've had a lot of individuals in their 20s, 30s, and 40s getting sick. And these variants are actually much more transmissible and they can cause more severe disease. So we actually had individuals in hospital as young as 22 years old in ICUs We had our youngest death, who was 35, just 2 weeks ago. So the vaccines are working. They're protecting the older individuals, but we need to make sure that our younger populations, they get the shot as well, because they're working a lot of frontline jobs. They're around our vulnerable populations, and also we need to protect the children, many of them actually have their own kids as well.